And just like with my cousin, you know, it was getting a little long in the tooth. I had to really go back in my mind palace and pull this one. So a lot of people probably will not know what the hell these movies are or about. They are very old. I believe the first one, this is the Evil Dead trilogy. This is Sam Raimi's work. He's the director and person who made the 2000 Spider-Mans that was earlier in this video that we talked about. He made these movies. Him and Sam Ash, I can't remember the guy's real name. They were made in the 80s. I think the first one is made in 81 or something like that. They are about they are horror movies. And anyone who has any knowledge of horror films or cinema at all, horror films are kind of a niche thing. You either like them or you don't. They scared you or they didn't. There is no middle ground. But Sam Raimi's dream and his type of filmmaking, he made it horror, but he also threw in aspects of comedy with it, lighthearted jokes or something to kind of ease you in with a laugh before he scared the shit out of you. At least back then. You watch these now, there's no way in hell you're getting scared. There's no CGI in these. I don't believe so. It was all makeup, prop, everything. But the story premise is around a well-known fable book called the Necronomicon. It has been in H.P. Lovecraft's work. It has been in this movies and even the newer Evil Dead movies. There hasn't been one in a while. A couple years. I think the last one was Evil Dead Rise, which is interesting. But these movies is what set the tone and for that. They took place with a guy taking his girlfriend to a cabin for the weekend, trying to do what people did back then in the 80s. They found a book and just like dumb teenagers, for whatever reason, decided to read from said book and horror was unleashed. The first two films, you're not watching them for the comedy, but at the time they were very interesting and the lore around them is what got me. And the main character that they played, he also played in a TV show they made decades later, and also they made video games based off of this by the name title, Evil Dead. The sequel, I can't remember fully. The sequel is where he lost his hand and gained the trademark chainsaw. He took a chainsaw, replaced it with his hand, and his boomstick. Those were classics. I can't remember what was the premise of each one. I know both take place in the wood, but I can't remember why he went back or whatever in the second one, and it happened again. Army of Darkness is what I like to call a we need some money third movie, because the Army of Darkness was years later. Not as bad as Godfather 3, but it's up there, and it takes a different premise of him being transported to a different world or time period and doing what he does best. I love horror movies. And horror movies do not get enough attention as they deserve, and they get a bad rap, Like I said, either it scared you or it didn't. There's no middle ground. No one kind of cares about them or anything like that. But this was something that I pulled out as a last minute banger to say, hey, I enjoyed these. And like I said, I'm pretty sure most of the people watching or listening are probably going to have to look this up to be like, yo, what the hell is an Evil Dead? Reese, have you ever heard, let alone seen any of these films?
Yeah, my uncle was very much into these, so I do remember watching these with him. Don't ask me why a teenager is watching a 5-year-old. In today time, you'll probably have CPS called on you. But yeah, these are very oldies. And I often say that old horror, how afraid is horror movies are just not made like they used to. They don't have that like shit. I've like watching shit like this used to give me nightmares as a kid. I don't think horror really touches that pedestal these days, and maybe just because I'm a grown up and I know better. It definitely was an era and a time, and a lot of people don't know about these movies. But hey, if you can find them, I don't know if they're on streaming service or anything like that, but if you can find them, definitely go watch them. I think they're worth your time to go watch. And oldies but goodies. But yeah, I got nightmares from watching this shit with my uncle. I do remember and recall these movies. So,
But anything I can tell you will not do it justice. And as far as the films on being on any stream service, I doubt that. Highly doubt it. But if you find somewhere to watch them, give them a good look, because, like I said, these are old films. They're done. They do things completely different. But to me, they were great horror films, because I know the first one, when I saw it as a kid, it scared the shit out of me, especially with the costume, the makeup, the white eyes, and here my mother is trying to get me into reading, and all hell's breaking loose because someone was reading something. So you can imagine, as a kid, I'm like, yo, reading's bad. you see what happens. But yeah, if you get a chance, check them out. Any of the older people probably watching, hey, you all know, you remember these. That's pretty much all I got as far as.
All right. My last is the Bourne series. Yeah, I picked this just on the premise that they don't make spy movies like this anymore, where are flooded with superhero movies and others trying to do the exact opposite. I can't think of spy movies like this in modern age. I know 007 is a spy like theme franchise, but that has been on ice. I know they picked a new actor to play it because old boy was like he was done. So yeah, the Bourne Trilogy, 2002 to 2007, 3 films starring Matt Damon. And let me just say, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not a Matt Damon fan. I don't really care for Matt Damon. Don't kill me in the comments, but I don't know. I just don't care for him. But he starred as Jason Bourne, a CIA assassin suffering from amnesia while covering the truth about his past. The trilogy focuses on identity, accountability, and institutional abuse. Power without oversight becomes dangerous. Governments create weapons they can't control. Personal morality can survive even after systematic corruption. Knowing the truth matters more than loyalty to authority. Bourne's journey is less about becoming a hero and more about reclaiming humanity. Cultural impacts redefine the modern spy thriller, shifted action films towards gritty realism and grounded stakes, popularized handheld camera work and close quarters combat, focused franchise like James Bond to modernize casino royalty. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Made intelligent agencies a source of tension rather than trust. Trilogy moved action cinema away from fantasy and into brutal realism. Box office performance: the first Bourne Identity in 2002 did 214 million worldwide. The second came out in 2004, did 290 million worldwide. And the Bourne Ultimate in 2007 did 442 million. So it's actually interesting, as the sequels came out, the series did more and more sales, which is very interesting. A lot of the times in the other trilogy, it was kind of the opposite. The last one kind of not, it was the least well performing, but this one was the total opposite, which is okay. But the total trilogy did close to $1 billion worldwide. The Bourne trilogy proved audience wanted smart, grounded action with morale weight, reshaping spy films for the next generation and leaving a lasting imprint on Hollywood storytelling. And that's exactly why Bourne is part of my list, because I think it did shift and really show that spy movies and CIA and all of this, and it could be really told in a way that was interesting for the viewer. And I think that gives them the right to be on the list, but like the success of Bourne definitely paved the way for spy like movie or projects that came after it. Listen, and these movies are not for everybody. Let me say that as well. These spy like movies, even the Bourne trilogy, it's not for everybody. I don't recommend it for everybody. It's definitely for people that enjoy that type of cinema. Like, they'll eat this shit up. But like, if you're really, like, I would say superhero-ish, I'm not sure you will enjoy this trilogy. I don't know. I just cannot. I say all that to say this. I have to emphasize, this movie is not for everybody. This trilogy is not for everybody. And it's not, and it tells a story, and the way it tells it might not be interesting to a lot of people, but it changed the game. It made a lot of money, and it really put Matt Damon on the map. I don't even know Matt Damon this early for anything else but these movies. Now, people might kill me who are Matt Damon fans. Like I said, I don't really care for him as an actor, but yeah, whatever. The Bourne series, good overall in its totality. It did kind of submit the spy-like genre. It really did say, hey, you can make money telling a story like this, and really give a message about, listen, there is corruption, and in all levels of corruption, you need to know who you are at the end of the day, so you can make a well decision about if you're going to be loyal to a industry that is corrupt, or are you going to be loyal to who you are at the end of the day? And that's kind of how I took the movies personally. That's the messaging to me. People be like, no, that's not it. Hey, that's what I took from the movies, and the why I like the movie because of that question that you asked. A lot of people working 9 to 5, they do just a bare minimum, just because. And there's some people that are just gun ho, systematic. Yeah, they're like, yeah, I live for my job. And there's other people looking at them like, but do you live for yourself or you just live for your job? Because maybe your job could replace you. You'll be looking like the people at Ubisoft right now that's just woke up today and didn't have no job. So it's kind of that mind frame, that I hold this trilogy in mind. But yeah, this is my last pick, the Bourne trilogy. Have you watched these movies? Have you seen? Do you like them? Do you even like Matt Damon? Because even with me not caring for Matt Damon, I still like these movies.
The first movie, the Bourne Identity, to me, it was a slow burn. He washed up on the dude, I think on the water. They put him in the boat. He had amnesia, and I think this was kind of around the time like that amnesia trope was really starting to get played out with a lot of films and games. And then he went to the bank, and then it started whooping people's ass with the martial artists and the money and the multiple identities. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it kind of hooked me. And I think you are correct. This probably did make Matt Damon, because I can't remember him or anything significant of him before these films, but they don't make spy thrillers or suspense movies like this. You have the Bourne movies, you have your James Bonds, and you have the Mission Impossibles, and that's kind of it. You really don't have much. And they
Well, you
made
have
these three
that
films.
one series. What's that?
Hmm?
The Kingsman. Yeah, that was a little
Oh yeah,
spyish.
yeah. Oh man, you know about those? Okay, yeah, you do have those, but those are I wouldn't put
Comedy
them in the same.
themed.
Yeah, they were a little more on the lighthearted. The Boring series. To me, one of the things that sold me was he was a CIA operative. As far as James Bond, that's MI6, so that's the UK government. Mission Impossible, I don't know what the fuck they were. I can't remember. I ain't seen the Mission Impossible in so long.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Cruise and he sit his old ass down. But anywho, what sold me on these were the action, real action suspense movies. And this seems like some shit that probably could have been real, because we do know the CIA does some fuck shit. It does. They made these 3 movies. I think they made one more with the guy that played Hawkeye in the Marvel movies. Then I think they made one more or something. I don't know, but the trilogy is what matters. The other ones were just I like these. I really did. And then even the box for the third one says the best action picture in decades. When it seems like it was trying to go toe to toe with Mission Impossible, trying to do something different, more suspense action with a story, other than just, hey, it's just some shit happening. But I enjoyed them. Matt Damon now, it's kind of a little long in the tooth. He's done some shits to me. It's a little questionable. I thought they were overall good films. I enjoyed them. Like I said, the first one was a little bit of a slow burn, but it turned out to be good things. I don't know if anyone knows this. Did you ever play the video game that was based off this? Oh man, it goes back to what I was talking about before about movie tie-in. Well, I'll take it back. It was mediocre. We'll go there, because I think it's a cult classic now, and it's like $50, 360 PS3 game, and it's like, dude, no. But yeah, it was a very interesting game. I mean, I'm sorry, interesting movie, and I enjoyed them. I don't remember so much how it ended. My memory's a little fuzzy. I'm thinking of the third one, but it probably could be the second one with all the action and shit he was going on. But and then, like you said too, you don't get a lot of these much anymore. Even James Bond series, the last we heard of that was with the Daniel Craig films, and they're still up in arms of trying to figure out where to take the series as a whole, and then who will be up to play mantle of James Bond. And the way Daniel Craig was kind of talking shit about it, I don't know if any actor wants to have their whole career tied to that for X amount of films. But no, I enjoyed them. They were good. Another film trilogy. If you were there when it came out, it was great. But I do believe these hold up to even still today. I won't say modern standards because things have changed, but even today, they're fucking great movies. And then Matt Damon just had a recent movie come out that we'll talk about another time, Netflix movie. So these
Yeah,
were good.
the rig or the Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Rip, yeah, whatever the hell that. Well, it's a police term, but yeah. Shout out, very good films. Check them out. That's about all I got for these.
Yep, and that wraps up the movie trilogy showdown. We each picked five in no particular order. So let us know down in the comments how you feel about any of the picks, or if you would have picked something different, and let us know what you would pick and why. And actually, if it is better than any of the ones that we picked, 'cause we each picked five. Not necessarily did we factor in box office. Mostly it was an emotional attachment to a certain series. But let us know if you do change something, why? What did it do performance wise, and what kind of cultural impact did the trilogy have? But let us know all that in the comments down below. But that's a wrap for us on the trilogy showdown.